breaking a habit is not easy, but it is possible if you understand the cue, craving, response, reward.
The reward.
Welcome to Mama's Playground. This is Darlene.
And this is Monica.
Monica, I'm so excited.
Why?
A week from today, I'm going to be away.
I know.
I'm out.
I'm going to be out too, but just not as exciting as your trip.
No, every trip is exciting. I mean, it's like the whole summer, everybody was going away. Everybody like Naples and Fort Myers and the Keys.
That's
and
not
here and
exciting.
there.
I mean,
it is exciting.
It's an escape. I'm not taking it for granted. It's an escape, but your trip's going to be
Yeah, I'm all
fun.
about staycations, but the fact that we know that this was coming, like I am so excited. So yeah, Europe, here we come.
Oh my God. It's almost 3 weeks, right? You're going to be gone almost about 3 weeks.
Yeah,
I get to go to Colombia. I'll be in Colombia for about 6 days.
without the kids,
Without the kids,
which is great. It's the first time you leave them both.
First time, yeah. Both of them are going to stay with my parents.
It'll be fun.
That's a little nerve wracking though, because I'm away and I'm like, oh, is my mom gonna be okay with the kids by herself?
Yeah.
But my sister's gonna help, so that we should be good.
Yeah,
we should be good.
you'll be good.
Yeah.
They'll be good. Let's see how you're gonna be.
It's me. Yeah.
But yeah, no, we are taking Luna on this trip, and they say, oh, Paris is the most romantic place, but we are gonna take her, and she's super excited. We've been like counting the days since like for the past 4 months,
Nice.
I would say. And so yeah, we're super happy. Anyway, so how's your week going?
Super good. Very calm. Nothing interesting. Just your day-to-day working and taking care of the kids and just your mundane stuff.
The mundane.
Yeah.
See, that's why we have to get away. I'm glad you're going to Colombia. I'm going to be out, but we do have some really good episodes coming. We're still going to be having episodes, our weekly episodes on Wednesdays, but today is the last time that we're going to be shooting for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes. So, okay, I'm excited. I know my guilty pleasure. What's my guilty pleasure?
Oh my God. I've never even watched this show before. The Bachelor. The Bachelor.
I know. I am 45 and I watched The Bachelor, but this is the thing.
You're not the only one though.
So last week, the premiere was of The Golden Bachelor, and I am super obsessed with that. I love the fact that these people, we're talking about his name, it's Gary. He's just turned 72, and he's the Bachelor. And these women, I mean,
They're 20? Are they like 20-year-olds?
No, I think the youngest one is 60. So you have 60s and 70-year-olds, and I'm watching the show, and I'm like, the energy they have and all this life, these women, how they're talking, and him also about like, it doesn't matter how old you are, get up, like do sports. If you want to fall in love again, go fall in love. And, there's no deadline for falling in love.
Do you think this show's for real though?
Yeah.
It's not staged?
No, oh my God,
No?
Fabian, he's like, please, no.
No?
I mean,
Okay. I've never watched it, so I can't say
Okay,
it.
I'm sure they're going to be like, hey, talk about this topic, because they know, okay, talk about when, I don't know, this person, you went through this experience in your life, to make the conversations more interesting.
Yeah.
But whatever the chemistry and all that, I mean, there's a couple that they just had a baby and they came from that show, and this is the one of many.
Again, I don't even know what the Golden Bachelor was. I was like, what does she mean, the Golden Bachelor? Is this like their 30th year or something? It's a golden...
Okay, so this is a man. He retired, I think, 20 years ago. His wife retired in 2017. And as soon as she retired, they went and they got their dream house by this lake. They show the house. It's beautiful. So finally, they both retired. Okay, now let's get our dream house. What happens? A month later, she went to the hospital. She wasn't feeling well. She had a bacteria. She died.
Oh, Lord.
So and this is the type of things that I want to talk about. Like, we're going to be talking about breaking habits. And I feel like one habit that we all have is saying, we're going to do this when we retire. We're going to do this later. We're going to have babies when the time is right. And sometimes you just have to go for it. And this is a couple, they planned all their life to have their dream home. She retires, and a month later, he's left alone in this dream house, and he talks about now she's not here. Like, we waited too long. And so, so now he said he's not going to fall in love with this person that he meets the same way that he loved his wife. Like, this new person is not going to replace her. This was like his high school sweetheart that he had married for 40 something years. But he says, I don't, I'm an active person. I love to do sports.
He's looking for companionship.
He's looking for a companionship. Yeah, that.
Which
And his daughters were the ones that nominated him to be the Bachelor. So he's the Golden Bachelor. The show is on ABC. I love it. I wish you would watch it so we can talk about it.
You're getting me a little bit intrigued. So maybe the next time you text me and say, hey, Monica, it's on, and I'll watch it.
Watching it and listening to these people, I'm like, wow, they've lived. They have grandkids, great grandkids, some of them. And all this energy, and they're full of life. And sometimes we at 20, 30, 40s, we're like, bleh.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything.
Yeah,
we're like, we'll leave it for tomorrow.
Yeah. So, but watching it, I was saying, I thought about it. I'm like, wow, so many times you say, I'm going to wait till I retire. I'm going to wait for this. And then when that day comes, you don't have the health to enjoy it.
I know. Yeah. That's why they say you have to live in the moment and do the things that you want to do in the moment. Sometimes it's hard though, right? Things get left to the back burner. But that's what we're going to talk about.
Yes.
The habits and breaking those cycles.
So there's good habits and bad habits. And first of all, let's talk, what's a habit? So it's a frequent...
It's a pattern?
It's a pattern. It's a frequent, repeated behavior. It's like a loop. You do everything once again. I mean, over and over and over again. And you finish. You start again.
And they could be in everything. I mean, it could be patterns are in everything. You could have a pattern in your relationships. You could have a pattern in the way that you parent. You can have a pattern in how you eat. You can have a pattern in your sleep. Everything. There's patterns in everything. I think it's a matter of being conscious of those patterns. Because I've seen people, actually thinking about this, I see people that say, oh my God, I don't understand. This always happens to me. I mean, it could be X, Y, Z. This always happens to me. Why is it that I can never maintain my friends, let's say? And I start thinking, será that you maybe have a pattern that you are pushing away the friends, or maybe in your love life, like you keep meeting that same guy or that same girl?
Why do I always end up with the bad boys?
Yeah, well, maybe you have a pattern, or maybe there's a certain type that you don't realize that you're constantly after, subconsciously or whatever. But it's a pattern. And, how do you break those patterns? How do you... or make them, I guess, better or work for you. Right?
The negative ones turn them into positive. And there's also, the patterns that we as parents have, the habits, and that's something that we try to build in our home. Like, okay, let's create, for example, this is bad. I like watching TV and eating, so I'll sit in the couch. And then, so Luna started doing that, the same thing.
But why? Why is that bad?
Because it's like Fabian says, which is true. There's a table.
Yeah.
There's chairs.
And we could talk. We could talk versus...
So he says we need to change that habit. And for me, it's hard because I would sit on the floor, with my bowl of cereal, watching TV. And now it's like, okay, I have to sit on the table. So my daughter sees me sitting on the table. And that's a habit that I'm working on.
But I mean, you see, those are habits that I say are like, okay, but they're not horrible habits. I mean, you're still spending some sort of time, the two of you sitting there eating your cereal, watching TV, I don't think it's like affecting anybody unless there's like no communication. It's like every single day. Now there's no family time. And the only time that you have is to sit down at the dinner table and actually converse with each other. Yet you choose to sit on the floor and eat your cereal or whatever you're eating and watch TV.
But it is a good habit to do that, to sit, everybody, let's sit on the table.
Of course,
let's eat, especially, and with no phones.
Yeah,
with no phones.
Yeah. That's another habit. That's my habit.
That's
I
your
always
habit.
have my phone. And sometimes I'll go to dinner and I'll be like, no, I'm not even going to look at it. And I'll turn the phone over. And I'm like, even if I see the light kind of gleaming from the bottom of the phone, I'm like, okay, shit, somebody's texting me. Somebody's sending me a message. And then Benjamin's looking at me like if I'm going to answer the phone. And I'm like, and I always cave. So it is a habit.
It is a habit. So what are you... you have another habit.
What? What is it?
Sergio's
Oh.
coffee.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, well, you know what? I'm making those. I should have like shares in the company, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't go this morning, so you see, I broke the habit for a day. I was running late.
I know. So there are 4 stages of habit formation, which is we were talking about this in the car because I just learned this and I was so excited because I'm gonna try to use it to get rid of the negative habits. So there's one. The first one is cue. So that's the one that triggers your brain. So that it's the cue. It's the one like, oh, for example, I just smelled coffee. Oh, like you'll drive by Sergio's.
They call it cue?
So it call it cue because it's triggers. It triggers your brain to know that you want the reward that you know that at the end you're gonna get if you work towards that.
Okay.
So first it's like the cue. Then comes the craving. So it's that desire. Like you want to change the current state where you're in. So it's the craving. It's like you smell the coffee. It's like, oh, now I want the coffee.
Oh my God, I see like a little like Tom and Jerry, our cartoons back in the day, like Tom and Jerry or whatever. And like, like something in your mind goes, oh, and you want it. You know what I mean? Or I don't know. I see myself doing that with the coffee. Yeah.
So that's it. So you're Tom or Jerry. So then after the craving, it's the response. So it's the actual thought or the actual action of stopping, parking your car and going to get your Sergio's coffee. And then the last one is the reward, which is like getting
the coffee.
That craving, that cue has been satisfied. So what happens? You do it again. And you do it again. So it's like a loop.
And now it's a pattern.
Now it's a pattern.
A habitual pattern.
Yeah. So what they're saying is like one of the ways to work on the habits is that when you get that cue, instead of associating it with something positive and something you desire, switch it. Be like, oh no, that coffee's gonna be cold. Or just like the brain is crazy.
But the brain, you're trying to trick your brain.
Yeah, to trick your brain. So it's like, no, you don't want that. No, you don't want to get in the car and drive over there to get another cup of coffee. I have coffee at home, whatever. But it's just, stopping yourself from having to do that. And I mean, it's obviously easier said than done.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of practice.
Yeah, you have to be conscious about it. I guess it has to be conscious, or it has to be something that's bothering you already or bothering somebody around you that says, God, can you stop doing this? Or you're always doing this, for it to kind of be in your face and say, okay, I have a pattern or a habit that I need to kind of break, like smoking.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Smoking is a huge one. People trying to leave that pattern, or that habit of having to pick up a cigarette when they pick up the phone, or they're trying to do a deal or something. It's like that thing of having.
Or after sex, after a lot of people are like, oh, I have to have it after
a cigarette,
after my lunch break. It's.
Or I'm bored right now on my desk. You know what? Let me go get a cigarette. Like it's like in your brain already ingrained.
And I've heard of people that, for example, when they're trying to quit, they stop hanging out with friends that smoke with them.
Yeah, because it's hard for them to be around with them.
Because it's like a ritual, like, let's go and smoke a cigarette. And then, so, again, it's not easy.
No.
Breaking a habit is not easy, but it is possible if you understand the cue, craving, response, reward.
The reward. Yeah, I guess the reward is what you want in the end. I think what you have to say is, because I'm sure there's certain habits that don't really affect you in any way. It's nothing bad, It might annoy somebody or this and that, but it's not something bad, I want to say. I guess it just depends on what it is.
Do what works for you. So good ones are like hygiene, obviously.
Yes.
Brush your teeth.
Yes.
I mean,
that's a good habit.
eating healthy, maintaining contact with your friends. That's another good habit, like checking up on your friends. There's so many. There's a list of so many things that active listening, that's another one. That one I'm working on. Because sometimes my mind is all over the place and somebody could be talking to me and I'm like,
oh my, I listen, that's happened to me before. And I have so many things going on. And let's say my mom tells me something. And then a day later she goes, okay, remember that I told you? I was like, you didn't say that. When did you say that? And then we start bickering back and forth. She's like, you're not listening. You are not listening. So yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah. So that's another one. Exercise.
That's a great habit.
That's a great habit. Oh, and one thing they're saying, for example, everybody's like, oh, I'm going to start the gym on Monday. Or I'm going to start doing yoga like next month. I'm going to join a place. So it says you have to set up, like, be very, first of all, consistent, and be like, put a schedule, not be more specific. Instead of saying, I want to start yoga next month, it's like, no, call the place, make the appointment, like, set up your classes. Same thing with everything. If you want to start, I don't know, meditating in your house, then say, put your alarm. Say every morning at 7:00 in the morning, before I wake up my daughter, I'm going to be meditating. If I want to learn a new language, which, by the way, I'm talking to myself right now because I have the app to learn French. We're leaving like soon. And I've only done like 2 modules. How do you say it?
Modules.
Yeah, I should start learning English before I start learning French.
Yes.
And I need to sit down and like focus on that.
You know what? This goes back to our episode that we did, a while back on procrastination. I guess it goes hand in hand. So it's procrastination and then the habits, right? And I think they go hand in hand. Like, don't put off things that you want to, I guess, change, or, if you've got a pattern or a habit that you want to work on, like, don't procrastinate on it. Like, start working on it now, because obviously it just continues, and then you never break the cycle of breaking a bad habit. Right?
Yeah, no, 100%. Procrastination is it's actually mentioned as one of the bad habits. That we've had this, and we've talked about this since the beginning, and it's working on it and putting up a schedule. We've been trying to do like every Monday at 9-10 a.m. It hasn't worked because
it's hard.
It's hard, but yeah, we should do it before it turns a year. Your 1 year anniversary.
Flipping this to our kids, it's things too that we have to watch out for as well, right? Like as moms, as parents, our bad habits. I'm talking about the bad ones. The bad habits that we have. Sometimes I realize too, sometimes that I'm talking, or when I'm in a bad mood or something, I may be saying words that I shouldn't say, and they're like habits of saying like shit, this, shit. And then my little ones are like, Mom, shit. And I'm like, don't say that. Well, you say it, exactly. And it's like a habit of, that you have to break.
Yeah. And when you tell them, I mean, it's okay for mommy and daddy to say we're adults. They don't understand. For them, they're also adults. They don't understand there's a difference.
At all.
Yeah, like Luna, I was telling her something, and I'm like, because it's your mom and your dad saying this to you. So you have, but why do I have to listen? And I'm like, because we're the adults. And she's like, I'm an adult too. And it kept going and going. I'm like, how do we teach them? So yeah, what were we talking about?
The habits, the breaking of the habits, and then also the good ones, right? Because there's good habits. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, basically that's what it was that we were saying.
Yeah, but for children, it's very important that they see, they lead by example.
Absolutely.
So anyway, we want to encourage our listeners to believe in your ability to break those bad habits, turn them into good habits.
Or just break the habit, right? If it's a bad habit, like...
It's
smoking.
A balance. Everything is about balance.
Yes, break it completely. And then how do they do that? So you were researching this. Like, what are some things, I mean, besides the points that you had already mentioned, like what are some things that, I mean, you would think have maybe either helped you? Have you ever broken a habit that you would say, like, I used to do this and I don't do it anymore because this helped me?
Cold turkey. Cold turkey. It happens for some, but just cold turkey. Right now, I want to do this. I want to start doing intermittent fasting again. And it's hard because I go to bed late. So at 8, 9, I want to eat popcorn. I want to munch on something because I go to bed, 11, 12. So if I stop eating at 7, by the time I go to bed, I'm starving. But I've done it before, and after you do it for 3 days, the body kind of gets used to it.
Yeah.
The people that go through these like cleansing at the first couple of days, it's bad.
Yeah.
And like a druggie, I guess, that they need their fix. And then after, I don't know how long it works for them. But yeah, cold turkey, consistency, and
being conscious about it.
Yeah.
And wanting to actually do it. Because again, there's some habits that you're like, screw it. I'm not going to change it. And then there's things that you do want to get rid of, right?
Yeah.
And then you just do what we do, research and find out how to do it.
And especially as parents, we have these kids, especially at this age, that they're listening to everything we say. They're imitating everything. Like, I really have a mini-me at home So, and researching for this episode, I was thinking about that. I'm like, I need to think about the things that I'm doing that, ways that I react, and we've talked about this before. Again, I'm Puerto Rican. I have a little bit of a temper. Sometimes my patience, depending on what's going on, and I'm sure many of you can relate, it's very minimal. So anything can make me like
triggered.
So there you go, the cue,
yeah,
the trigger. And it's a matter of like trying to say, okay, this is not going to trigger me to act in a bad, negative way in general, because Luna's there. She's watching. She's listening. So,
yeah. We are works in progress, people.
Man,
we have a lot of things that we want to work on and so on. But that's what's good about this, right? So we keep bringing bringing up temas and episodes on our episodes and all that of things that actually, help, and things that we're researching and things that everybody goes through and things that definitely, we're learning from, and we're also, just trying to be better everyday humans.
Yes.
For us and for the people around us, right?
Yeah. Let's peace to the world. One step at a time. So thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes.
I'm out.
Yes.
I'm leaving. I'm out to the airport right now.
Oh my God. I'm going to jump in the suitcase with you.
Bye, guys.
Anyways, bye, guys.
See you next time. Bye.